Okay. So thank you everyone again for joining today. So thank you everyone for the collaborative work that we've done together in order to put this synergy workshop together. So today we are going to talk about the fight against crime and terrorism and also the border management synergy workshop that has been organized in the collaborative efforts for TENSOR, FLEXIcross, EITHOS, and ODYSSEUS projects. And all these projects have been funded by European Commission. So I would like to welcome today the European Commission experts and project partners, stakeholders for joining today's workshop. So what are we going to discuss today is to explore the groundbreaking advancements in border security and crime prevention. So in the activities of FCT Security Research and Innovation, they aim to support prevention, detection, mitigation of crime and terrorism-related incidents. So the new technologies and capabilities are imperative in these endeavors, addressing various forms of organized crime, cybercrime, illegal trafficking, terrorism, and so on. So similarly, when it comes to the border management, the objective for the research and innovation in this area are related to the border management, including border control, risk analysis, and interagency cooperations. So projects funded under this cluster are dedicated to developing technology to improve border surveillance, enhance travel documentation, document security, and detection of risk at the border while facilitating the movement of legitimate passengers. So through this workshop, we will delve into the technical progress made by our projects with a particular focus on AI and biometric features. We will also discuss our exploitation activities, ethics and policy actions, and then next step in these crucial areas. So with our collaborative work and exchange insights today, I want to bring to your attention the importance of these collaborative efforts in enhancing security and safety for all. So together, we have this opportunity to have a profound impact in crime prevention and border management, ensuring a safer and more secure future for Europe and beyond. So thank you all again for your participation today. I would like now if Giuseppe and can help me with the greetings overall also for the our Commission, European Commission officers that are attending today.
I think that I have not many words, just to say thank you to the Commission to be present and to have accepted this invitation. As I said also in the invitation that I made to them, even discussed a few weeks ago, but then we refreshed the invitation also with some details last week. It's a strange synergy workshop in the sense that we have projects of different topics, and I think this is an important achievement. Also, thanking again the European Commission because allowed us to meet each other last year during the Project to Policy seminar. I think that there is more effort to employ, to use, let's say, to increase this kind of cross-topic collaboration. There were some other projects, but we didn't achieve to contact them. But I think that we have some more work to do because there are also some other commonalities, like for example the communication with communication, or in any case interoperability with the entry-exit system. So in the end, this we will try to do it better, no? Because we have, just to give a little bit of story to the other, we have worked a lot to create a sort of memorandum of understanding for the collaboration into this kind of dissemination activities, and that will bring us also more added value in terms of techniques and technologies that we are using that are in common to the 4 projects essentially. So let's hope to do even better in the next workshop, involving even more topic related and technology related projects. I will leave the floor to the European Commission.
Thank you, Giuseppe, and thank you, Anna, and indeed, thank you for all the 4 projects partners. It's and thank you for inviting us. Really, this is super super interesting and great to see. We're glad that just some of the pushes that we organized, like in the meeting that Giuseppe was referring to, could create some opportunities like this. And just to echo and explain, I think I had the pleasure of I'm just looking through the names, and by the way, it's great to see so many people connected from the 4 projects. I had the pleasure to meet some of you, and I recognize some names. But for those who don't know me, I'm Giulio Mancini. I work at the European Commission's DG Home unit on innovation and security research. We manage the program of the Horizon Cluster on Civil Security Research and Innovation, funded by the EU, and I coordinate the part on border management innovation. But exactly as we said, we also work together with the colleagues in the team, in the other team in the same unit that coordinates the area on fighting crime and terrorism, innovation to fight crime and terrorism. I see at least a colleague from that team here with us today, Felix, and Felix may be able to say something about FCT just after me. But just to underline how important it is and how an interesting achievement it is for you 4 to organize this event together. In the past few years, our program, Innovation for Civil Security, exists now since more than 15 years. But we realized, as we always learn in the last few years, that both ourselves, and the projects were a little bit in compartments in terms of areas. We had the border management research and innovation for border guards. We had the fight crime and terrorism research and innovation for police. But in many cases, there are a lot of opportunities of interacting, maybe because the technologies are similar, maybe because the capabilities needs are similar, maybe because the practitioners actually work together, border guards and law enforcement, for example. And I think what you do is a very good example. Biometrics in terms of technology, security of identity in terms of challenges, just to name a few, could be interesting for different communities, as well as also from the innovators' point of view. Many of you are companies or universities and could just benefit for more interaction. That's something that we wanted, or we hoped, to help with the project to policy seminar when we introduced the various projects and promoted networking. And that's something that we also ourselves try to do, not least through the CERIS, the Community for European Research and Innovation for Security, where we as Commission try to organize and host thematic events on innovation, where we also try to bring a lot of the policy making part. And so, for example, today's workshop, or this online workshop, is very interesting for us. For example, I look forward to it and learn things and take notes to report and promote to our policy colleagues, thematic policy colleagues. So those who work on border management policies for the future of European border management, or for organized crime fighting or terrorism fighting policies, because what you're working on and what the solutions, the technologies that you're studying and develop could be helpful for them. So thank you very much. Again, congratulations for being able and being open to this networking and collaboration. It's already very good, and of course your projects being still in their let's say first half, more or less, they have a lot of opportunities to do more. So looking for the rest of the afternoon, and leaving the floor quickly for a quick mention to Felix from the FCT innovation team, if he wants to say something. Thank you.
Thanks, Giulio. Yes, hello everybody. Very nice to meet you. So as the FCT title indicates, we're focused mostly on fighting crime and terrorism, but because this topic is rather large, it also has quite a few domains of application. So with Giulio in the past, we've worked a little bit on mapping potential synergies, not only within cluster 3 of the research program, but also with other clusters. So we want to make sure that we have a very good understanding already of the possible synergies that go on within our own cluster, but also then in the future, see if we can expand that to the other clusters as well and build a very strong base. I think also it might be worth mentioning that we have also these the work program on strengthening security research and innovation, which works also on the aspects of research which need to be improved, which can be improved, strengthened by also EU-funded projects. And this should also be able to support your own projects and facilitate synergies, make sure that the community is at least familiar or aware of one another at large. So BM, border management and fighting crime and terrorism are, in my view, some of the most obvious synergies, but we are also looking to expand this throughout this cluster as it stands, and possibly see where we can go from there. But I'm looking forward to seeing these discussions, or to hearing these discussions rather, and wish you a very nice meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felix.
Thank you. If Oana and Eleni allow me, so I would like the floor, just leave the floor just to Bruno Chenard, that is our project officer at this point. Just few words. I know that was not in particular very well defined slot, but just to leave the floor to him for some greetings.
Yeah, hello, and thank you for giving me the floor. I think after the colleagues from the Commission, I do not have anything to add. I think it's a very good opportunity that we have this workshop amongst two different areas, so this is very good, this is very positive. And another positive point is that we have some colleagues from DG Home present today, so that we have a direct feedback to policy, and this is very, very important for the project. So I will give you the floor back and wish you a very fruitful workshop today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you. Okay.
If I may, I would like to
The
do
floor
the
is
same.
yours. Okay.
Please, Eleni.
I see our project officer, Dr. Elena Manova, if she would like to say hi. We are more than happy.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I just joined the meeting, so and I heard the greetings from Bruno. So the same from my side. Very good initiative. So congratulations for this, and I hope this will not be the last one. So I wish you as well a very fruitful meeting ahead and workshop. Okay. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I will start now. No?
Yes.
We'll start with
Okay.
the next slot. Thank you to everybody. So I will leave the floor to Anna if she wants to moderate.
Thank you, everyone. With the next, let's say, slot, we are going to present the project overview. These presentations are going to be made by the coordinator of each project. So we have Eleni Veroni from Intrasoft Net Company. And then we have Giuseppe Salvatore Vela from the project from FLEXIcross. And then Monica, Flora, and Dana Oniga from Simavi, from ODYSSEUS, and Manuel Pastron for Herta from EITHOS. So, Eleni, if you would like to start for presenting the project overview for TENSOR.
Sure.
Thank you.
I guess everything is okay with the screen sharing, etc. So, okay, thank you. Very quickly, hello everybody. I'm very happy to be here. And among good colleagues, I'm Eleni Veroni. I'm a project manager at the company Microsoft, specifically in the Research and Innovation Development Department. I'm the day-to-day coordinator of Tensor project. And here is the overview for our project. Everything you need to know about Tensor is in this slide, the topic under which we have been funded, our consortium, the fact that we started our journey last year on January 1st, meaning that we are well into the second year of implementation for the project, that we are an innovation action being supported by the European Union as well as own funds. Our overall aim, which is to enable the biometric evidence extraction, fusion, storage, and sharing in cross-border settings. And how we're going to do this? We're going to do this by fusing physiological and behavioral biometrics, by leveraging AI technology to provide intelligence and insights, and by developing a biometric data space system prototype tailored to the needs of the security domain. We have 3 distinct pilot use cases. Each pilot will take place in a different EU member state, but more about this later on. A few more details about our consortium. We are happy to work together with 20 partners across 15 European countries. We are working together with RTOs, law enforcement agencies, and forensic institutes, large industries, as well as SMEs. A little reminder about the expectations as these were set by the topic under which Tensor was funded, FCT 0105 for model biometrics used in forensic science and by police. So the expectations were related to advancing the use of biometric technologies by practitioners, strengthening forensic evidence acceptance in court, supporting policymaking on the use of modern biometric technologies, taking, of course, into account the ethical and legal rules of operation, improving the operational capabilities of law enforcement agencies to fight crime and terrorism, and to train forensic practitioners on the use of state-of-the-art technologies and methods. In line with those expectations, Tensor considers 3 traditional physiological biometrics, the well-known fingerprint, face biometrics, as well as voice, but we also go beyond that, and we consider the behavioral biometrics. We consider gait, specifically, gait recognition, the way someone walks, as well as user patterns, the way someone interacts with their mobile devices can also used to identify them. So with these 5 modalities at the core of Tensor, we have designed, and we are trying to implement a system that extracts biometric traits and other features from the crime, leveraging for this purpose CCTV footage, recorded audio, or mobile devices that may have been found at the crime scene. Then to fuse these biometric data and features towards suspect recognition, identification, and identity verification, to store the extracted biometric data in a privacy-preserving manner, enabling encrypted search and comparison functionalities, and to share biometric data among trusted national law enforcement agencies while maintaining data sovereignty. These are the 3 main objectives for the project: to support the forensic investigation through the provision of innovative biometric intelligence and insight, to exploit further the potential of both behavioral and physiological biometrics with the purpose to derive concrete and robust evidence, and to facilitate the cross-border data exchange, ensuring also interoperability. These objectives will be demonstrated in the framework of 3 use case scenarios, and we'll make sure that all our results, concepts, ideas, recommendations will be widely communicated in the relevant stakeholders. As mentioned before, we have 3 distinct use cases. So a few words about these. The first one is evidence collection through intelligence derived from correlated behavioral and physiological biometrics based on CCTV footage. This use case scenario, the first one, will take place in Czech Republic and is being led by the police of Czech Republic. There are 6 distinct technology offerings from TENSOR that will be leveraged and demonstrated in the framework of this use case scenario, and the objectives are to derive a comprehensive set of distinctive features and increase accuracy and efficiency in criminal identification. For this particular use case scenario, there are 2 data sources. The main one is the CCTV footage with incorporated audio. And later on in the storyline, we are also using the police officer's mobile device to obtain fingerprint from the suspect on the field. The extracted traits is 3 physiological biometrics, face, voice, and fingerprint, that will be fused with gait, which is a behavioral biometric. The produced outcomes, a list of possible suspects along with a confidence level for each one, with their identities. And we are also going to produce a narration of the investigation process, combining all the relevant findings. The second use case scenario, the focus now is shifted to a mobile device, specifically unlocking this smartphone mobile device, leading to the extraction of stored data, even biometric data. This use case scenario will take place in Finland, is under the leadership of the Ministry of the Interior in collaboration with the Finnish police. Again, 6 distinct technology offerings will be used here. The objectives remain the same, but the means are different. Data sources now is mainly a locked mobile device associated with the criminal and the crime. And CCTV footage will be also leveraged later in the storyline to extract findings that can be correlated between the 2 data sources. The extracted traits, as I said earlier, the focus here is on behavioral biometrics, but also on every possible relevant information that can be extracted from the mobile device, such as biometric data stored in the embedded secure element, sensor data about, for example, about the location of the criminal and past whereabouts, 2D patterns from the media files, pictures taken with the phone earlier, and how these can be associated with the crime. And the produced outcomes are information about the suspect's characteristics, its past location, whereabouts, etc., as well as the narration of the investigation process, combining all the evidence. Last but not least, we're going to deliver the biometric data space, the first biometric data space, which we're going to use to demonstrate secure data exchange in a cross-border scenario. For this purpose, 2 end users are being involved in this use case scenario, which is being led by the Portuguese police with the participation of the Moldavian police. There are 4 technology offerings being demonstrated here, and the objectives are a bit different. We need to establish that the process is taking place considering also security and privacy, automation, scalability, enhanced trust, and data sovereignty. For this purpose, we have used the IDSA reference model, the new paradigm of data spaces, and we're going to use it in the scenario to exchange facial. The focus here is on facial templates in a cross-border scenario. There are also technologies that are used to ensure the aspects I mentioned earlier: security, privacy, scalability, etc. It's a different system than the TENSOR platform, but we believe it's very, very important. The good thing is that we have also established a relation of our use case scenarios with the EU policies for internal security, mainly for the EU strategy to tackle organized crime 2021 and 2025. We see here that the strategy calls for making more effective use of biometric data and specifically facial images for identification purposes. This is what we do in our use case as well. Calls for cooperation, law enforcement and judicial cooperation, smooth exchange of information and timely access. This is relevant to our use case scenario 3. For access to digital leads and evidence, because the organized crime takes place online nowadays. We also do this by leveraging a new biometric modality, the behavioral biometrics related to the mobile device, the way we interact with it. Also, there is a need for tools that are inexpensive and can be operated by non-specialized personnel. We're also going to do that in the framework of pilot use case 2 by offering a non-costly solution to unlocking mobile devices, attacking the pin and the pattern of the mobile device. Finally, we found very strong relevance with the regulation on automated data exchange for police cooperation, the PRAM2 framework. This is exactly what we do in our pilot use case scenario 3, but we're going to demonstrate this through the biometric data space technology. We believe it fits very nicely, and we are looking forward to the results from this pilot evaluation, because we believe that very, very useful recommendations, policy recommendations, can be extracted from this process. This is from my side. I hope I didn't. Maybe I went a little bit over.
No worries. Thank you so much, Eleni.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Shall we continue with FLEXIcross and Giuseppe?
Should see the screen, right? Which
Yes.
I reduced a little bit the presentation of a couple of slides. Also, so we'll introduce FLEXIcross today. FLEXIcross is a flexible and improved border crossing experience. So it is about managing and improving border crossing experience for passengers and giving benefits, providing benefits also to border authorities. Few information related to the project. It's the first half of the project, so it started in September 2022 and will end in August 2025. It's a project that was funded under the cluster 3 topic BM0103. And the main aim of the project is essentially to deploy and continuously validate a toolkit for innovative border checking solutions on the move, so a real operational environment, meaning that we have the possibility to deploy easily the border crossing points for border guards in order to allow them to do the necessary checks with the different tools that we will see in the next slides. We started, of course, doing a sort of mapping one by one between challenges and solution of the that are brought from the project, starting from the increasing freight and passenger transports that has a significant part into the European mobility in general. This will mean that we will have the necessity to improve what is the workload of the customs and of course of the security, all the security personnel that is involved into border crossing. And here the idea is to leverage on a flexible, dynamic, and effective toolkit that will allow to use in a transparent way technologies like 5G, Internet of Things, so with sensors that are deployed in the mobile border crossing points, to use artificial intelligence algorithms that will allow to extract unusual pattern from the essentially from timely and geographically movements of people across borders, and to do so to conduct such analysis in terms of risk assessment across borders. We have used, just to not go in deep of all the different factors that we have taken into account. Essentially, the main activity is to bring innovation by using such technologies, by delivering such mobile checks into real operational environment, by using advanced biometric checks, and essentially allowing in the end to the different authorities, as we have seen also before, to allow to the different border authorities to interoperate among each other with the ambition to integrate with the entry-exit system, and if possible to have the interaction also with the ETHOS system in order to identify if there is any particular person that is crossing the borders that has not the necessary authorization, and then so to trigger some more services that will allow to identify if there is any phenomenon like irregular crossing or contraband or smuggling of goods across borders. The project consortium is made by 12 partners. We have engineering as that is the coordinator. Then we have BEA, EITHOS, Wings, and EITHOS, essentially for the innovative SME. Then we have ICCS and Chemia as the research organization, and then we have also 5 end users that will take care. Essentially, they will be the contact point for the 3 pilots. And we have TCTFR for what concerns the railway networking, ATG as incubator that will coordinate the scenario near the port. Then we will have also Hellenic Police that will be mainly involved in the Greek pilot, and then we have also Romanian police and border police that will be the border police involved into the scenarios for what concern essentially the sea scenario and port scenario essentially, and the railway scenario. This is the initial architecture of the project. Essentially, so we started with a classical 4-tiered architecture where we have from one side all the sensors that are deployed, like acoustic sensors, like mobile devices that will be used for positioning, for providing position, essentially to analyze if there is any unexpected pattern that is detected by the different algorithms. Then we will have also onboard sensor unit, or we have also passport and fingerprint scanners. We will have also X-ray and footages, or also mobile and fixed cameras, and all these sensors will be ingested essentially by the related module that will pass all this information essentially to the data processing layer that will analyze through AI and ML algorithm all this information that comes from the field essentially. We will see a detailed architecture after in the technical overview, and after all this information are processed, they are fused to create value-added services like doing biometric verification, to do vehicle and person risk assessment, as I was mentioning before, to do some predictions according to the analysis of the pattern, to the pattern that are extracted from the geographical and the temporal movements of people across border, in order also to create two other additional added value services that are the detection of illegal trafficking and also the contraband smuggling phenomena. All this information will be visualized will be essentially visualized in use case 1 through GUI to the two-dimension GUI and through the augmented reality situation awareness into two different situation awareness that are mainly related to the two different pilots that are in Greece and in the scenario related to Romania and Moldova. But the most important part is that essentially that the whole toolkit will be instantiated into the three different pilots according to the different needs of the end users expressed during the requirements recitation. And all the three pilots will communicate through an interoperability mechanism that will allow them to export the data that in the end will follow the structure of a data model that has been formalized within the project, but with the possibility also to create an intermediate model that will allow us to export all this information according to the data model that will be defined or at least that is in progress for the entry-exit system. These are the three pilots that will be the Romania and Moldova platform that will be deployed essentially for the use case 3, the Romanian scenario that will be in Galati port, and then we have also the Greek Bulgarian scenario that will be on the road. Will be at BorderSat or menu essentially on the road. On the left, we can see all the sensors that will be used for the different pilots. So we will have portal facial recognition systems for verified identity of people that are crossing, fingerprint scanner. We will have also onboard sensors, onboard unit on police vehicles. We will have also remote video from fixed cameras, but also videos coming from from tethered drones. Like we will have also X-ray scanning for cargo identification and acoustic sensing for position prediction, essentially. Then we will cover all the transactions, especially for use case 3, and the exchange of information among the different sensors with a central system through blockchain technologies. I will go further because I think that we are a little bit late. This is the methodology that we have used to essentially monitor the development of the different modules that are currently being developed. Essentially, there are some bi-weekly calls that are being organized in order to suit essentially with the main deadlines that we will see after, with the planning that we have not only inside the project but also with public projects that currently involves the two projects of the today Synergy workshop. But we will try to understand if it's possible to involve also the other people into official events that in the end what task force does is to strictly monitor all the release of the software module that will be then demonstrated essentially during these events. So what I mean is this. Essentially, this is not the Gantt of the project. We have a timeline with the three different layers that are related to the, in the upper part, we have the different milestones related to the month 16 to have the release of the first release of the toolkit, month 20 that is in April 2024 that will be the first draft of the methodology for trial validation essentially. Then we will have the integration, the early integration of the piloting of the pilot story with the release at month 26 of the second draft, the second release of the FLEXIcross toolkit, and then to continue with the month 31 with the end of the integration before the execution of the pilots at month 22 and 23. And finally, the final report, of course, of the validation. This means that in the end, we will have different events that are in the light green that we have highlighted for the technical workshop for the internal progress, but also workshop for with external stakeholders, with some activities for what concern the dissemination communication activities, but in conjunction with the main activities and that will satisfy the KPI of the projects, we will have already planned to have several activities. At the bottom part we can see with Tensor that, as I said at the beginning, we have organized the memorandum of understanding in order to identify which can be the best opportunity for us, like today, to share some information that also came to my mind, the different questions that we can do if there is time today or offline, in order to have some curiosity that can be even exploited better in not only in workshops, but also to have the possibility to analyze some results in the technical conference in EITHOS that will be in Crete in 2024, or to have, for example, a white paper at month 28 by the end of this year, essentially for what concern biometric technologies for forensic and border management, essentially. So this is the plan of these conjunction activities. What we have essentially drafted in terms of exploitable assets there are three main topics related to all the functionalities that are validated into real operational environment, like mobile biometric tools for people identification, to improve all the border checking processes that are currently in use for the border guards that are involved in the project, and to provide another kind of experience that is related to the situation, the augmented reality situation awareness for border checking, and also predictive risk assessment by using the different sensors that are in the field. Another important asset, even if it's not technical, is related to the framework for privacy and secure data processing that mainly is involved not only in the compliance of the ethics requirements, but also into the identification of the main plugging point that can be used by technological people to identify which can be the weakness that we have to cover, essentially, with the development activities, and to be compliant. So with not only with the current ethics framework, but also, for example, with if possible, to identify which are the possible way of improvement with the AI Act. And last but not least, also this interoperability framework, at least, is a module that we are designing now in order to be compliant also with the entry exit system. I don't know if there is any raised hand or.
Yeah, I raised hand, Giuseppe, because I guess this will be further discussed in the section that we have related to the exploitation.
Absolutely.
So just being aware of the time that we have.
Was just in fact, it was just
Yeah.
an introduction, just to
Okay.
And that's all. And this was the last slide that are numbers, but we can just share with them just to have some figures related to the software modules, to the key exploitable results that we have identified, and some activities that we are doing and that have been described in different phases of the slides. So I will close my presentation. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you so much, Giuseppe. No worries. Okay, moving forward to the presentation, the overview of ODYSSEUS, and we have Monica, Flora, and Dana Oniga from Simavi.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for introduction. I'm Monica Flora. I'm the project coordinator of ODYSSEUS project, and I'm the head of unit of European project department in Simavi. And I will make just a brief introduction of ODYSSEUS together with my colleague Dana. I would kindly ask Dana to share the screen.
She was sharing the screen previously, so
Yeah, disappeared. So now I just okay. So
just give me 1 second. Give me please 1 second. I have a small problem.
Yeah, we can
now
see
it's
it.
fine. No,
Yeah,
it's fine.
perfect.
it's okay. Okay, so you can go to the next slide. So just few words about the project. So ODYSSEUS, it's aiming to offer some unobtrusive technologies for secure and seamless border crossing for travel facilitation. And the project was submitted on BM on the call BM0103. Dedicated to improve border checks for travel facilitation across external borders and improve the experience for both passengers and border authority staff. The project is an innovation action and has a total cost of 4.6 million euros. You can go to the next slide, please, Lana. The project has a consortium of 14 partners from 12 European countries and also 2 non-EU countries. So we are quite expanded on many countries from European Commission, European Union, sorry, but also for non-EU countries. And related to the actual partners, so we are 5 end users bodies from countries like Romania, Bulgaria, Slovakia, France, and also we have 3 large companies, 5 small and medium enterprises, and 1 research institute. So we cover different type of expertises that are required for the project objectives. The main goal of the project is to improve border crossing experience for travelers and border authority staff, while maintaining security and monitoring of movements across land and water EU external borders. So then I kindly ask you to take over, because I think it's Dana is the project manager of the project, and she will introduce you the main project objectives.
Thank you, Monica. So we have 5 main objectives. The first one is to design and develop a platform that will be used by both border authorities and citizens. The second objective is related to advancement of identification and control capabilities of border authorities by introducing a new mobile virtual passport. The third objective is also about improving the border control capabilities, specifically by using safe and portable screening X-ray technologies, drones, UAV-assisted image processing, and AI-based data analytics. The fourth objective is to validate the effectiveness of the ODYSSEUS platform by demonstrating it in various operational environments inside the train, on the road, and at the water border. Finally, the fifth objective is to speed up the rapid uptake of ODYSSEUS innovations through wide communication, scientific dissemination, and commercial exploitation. As about outcomes and expected impact that the project will have. The first outcome is to validate new and innovative solutions. Both solutions that I mentioned before, the capabilities of the identification of people and the X-ray and drone technologies are supported by powerful AI. But you will see more details in our presentation dedicated specially for technologies. Going back to the outcomes, the first outcome, after we validate the platform and the technologies, will improve the border crossing experience for both travelers and authorities staff, but also will maintain security and monitoring of movements across land and sea EU external borders. The second outcome is to increase the security and reliability of border checks including identifying people and goods that might cross external borders. And this will also mean an improved security of EU external borders. We target land and sea borders, not air borders, with ODYSSEUS project. And finally, the third outcome will support also the planning of border checks and also the handling of peaks in cross-border traffic, especially in land crossings. And we hope to improve customs and supply chain security through better prevention, detection, and fight of illegal activities that might involve flowing of goods across EU external borders. What we would bring with our technologies, we are developing a platform for both border authorities and citizens, and we have two pillars, let's say, two main directions. First one is to improve the checking at borders by using technologies, X-ray technologies and drones-assisted technologies. These are supported by multimodal fusion and decision support system, and also by an explainable AI module. The second direction is the identification and control capabilities, and for this we have a device for seamless identity verification. Again, you will see this later on. We will have digital and virtual passport. They will be supported by AI-powered continuous behavioral authentication, by faceless GDPR-compliant travelers counting, using images from static cameras. And these technologies are also supported by the decision support system and the explainable AI module. As operational scenarios, we are targeting illegal border crossing and the traffic of illicit good materials, explosive or drugs. We are also targeting identity fraud and, in the end, also terrorism. We have 3 pilots, as I've mentioned before. The land border pilots, one will be at the border between the Republic of Moldova and Romania. This is an external EU border. And another one will be at the border point between Slovakia, Republic of Slovakia and Hungary. Another pilot will be in Bulgaria, in Burgas port. And the last one, the train border, will be again between Republic of Moldova and Romania, more specifically in a crossing point called Ungheni. A little bit about our implementation plan and where we are. We are in month 15, we started January 2023, and we are approaching very fast a new milestone in April, where we need to have all the first versions of the technologies ready, and then in June, mid-year, we will have the first version of the platform ready. Then, by the end of this year, we will have also the first round of piloting. So we will have quite a busy year. Again, about what happened in our first year of implementation, we already achieved the first the first milestone, the baseline. We finalized 15 deliverables out of 27. We gathered the end user needs. We defined technical requirements, and we designed the platform architecture. All our technologies are under development, and we are going straight to achieve the next milestone that we have. The platform is also progressing, And from other point of view, we are monitoring, applying the ethical principles required by the Commission. We do communication and dissemination, and we are in good progress with these directions, and the work on exploitation and standardization also started at the beginning of this year. So this ends my presentation.
Thank you so much, Dana and Monica, for this presentation. Okay, we will move now forward for the presentation of EITHOS. So Manuel, Pastor, please.
Actually,
It's Konstantinos. Okay.
Yes, I will do the overall presentation of the project, and then Manuel will talk about some of the technical stuff.
Okay, please feel free to share the screen. And if there's a way just to keep it to maximum 10 minutes, that would be great.
Yeah, I will be very short, don't worry.
Thank you so much.
Okay, just let me figure out how to share. Right, you can see it, right?
Yes, we can see. Thank you.
Perfect. So my name is Kostis Konstantinidakis. I'm with CERT in Greece, and I'm coordinating ETHOS. So what is ETHOS? It is quite different, I think, from all of the other projects that are taking part in this project, because it is a project that is dedicated to countering online identity theft. So it's not about borders or the most usual types of crime that have been mentioned in previous presentations, but more about more insidious and perhaps more everyday type of crime. So a bit of information about the project. It started in October 2022. It's going to last a total of 3 years. We are precisely in the middle of this timeline now. It is a research and innovation action, of course, so it targets medium TRL results at about 5 or 6. And it actually answered the call with five distinct things that we're going to do. I'm not going to go through all of this text now, but I'm going to make a summary in a bit later. So what is the concept of ETHOS? We need to start with what is the concept of online identity theft. So what is identity theft, online or not, is when someone's identity or elements of it are controlled by someone else without, of course, the victim's agreement or say so. So what are elements of our identity? Elements of our identity, like of our physical identity, of course, is our image, our voice, our names, our signature, our actual identity card or passport, our social security numbers, and of course, stuff like that. And very much of this in recent years, perhaps in the recent, like in the last couple of decades, very much of this is also online. So we have a social media identity, and this is part of our identity. We have emails. We have so many online services, from e-banking to online shopping, to accessing government services, to even like, of course, watching Netflix or playing games online. Everything is connected to a sort of online identity. And online identity theft is when some or all of this is controlled by someone else for whatever reason. Of course, there are like the usual, perhaps slightly old-fashioned types of online identity theft. Old-fashioned meaning perhaps 10 years old or more, and this can include email scamming or phishing or trying to get you to give away your credentials so that they can log in as you, or that they can get to your e-banking account or stuff like that. There is, of course, also other things like someone creating an Instagram account that has like a very, very similar handle to yours and uses the same pictures and the same videos. And so to some observer, it might look like it's yours. Of course, this is probably not a problem for most of us, but it can be a problem for celebrities. It can be a problem for politicians, because people can then use such accounts to spread fake news, to influence people, because these people have a lot of influence on society. And then, of course, which is what this slide is about, there are some very, very recent and high technology methods of identity theft, and one of them is deepfakes. Deepfakes is the technology that is rising very, very rapidly. Like a couple of years ago, anybody would see a deepfake and it would be more or less clear that it's probably fake. Not so much now, and in a couple of years, it's going to be probably very, very difficult as things get much, much more advanced. We have all seen the recent news a couple of months ago with the deepfake images of Taylor Swift that made global news. And of course, this can also happen with other celebrities. There was also with politicians. There was a couple of years ago this thing with deepfake video of President Zelensky of Ukraine urging the armed forces to surrender, which of course was fake, but and it was very quickly proven to be fake. But we can only imagine what sort of impact these things can have. And of course, very, very recently, we have also seen how generative AI, like Sora, can create very, very realistic videos that are indistinguishable from real videos in many cases. Another thing is fake social media accounts. Not only what I mentioned, like someone actually creating an account that looks very similar to yours, but it can also be a net of bot accounts that will circulate and share each other's posts and create a very fake impression of what topics are relevant or what topics are liked by many people. So, what does ETHOS want to do about it? ETHOS is going to actually has built an observatory that is still, of course, expanding, that has two goals. One is to inform and educate the European citizens of the dangers of identity theft and how to protect against it. So a lot of information and article for non-specialized people. And the second part is to identify and address the challenges that police authorities face against online identity theft, because it is a very new, a very recent type of crime. And it's not easy either to report it or to prove it or to actually address and do something about it. So the project has actually 4 paths of action, and I'm going to go very briefly through them. So it's the socio-psychological part, which is going to measure what kind of impact identity theft has to its victims and also to society as a whole, and what kind of support structures are there, and can we improve upon these support structures. The second thing is the technological pathway. So tools for the police authorities to detect video deepfakes, to detect audio deepfakes, to detect botnet accounts on social media, and also an experimental tool that's going to extract trends that might be relevant, not to solve a specific case, but to understand the general current landscape of identity theft related crimes, as this might be discussed on dark web forums or even on Surface web forums. Manuel is going to talk more about the technological part in his presentation. Then we have the legal part, which is how can these technological tools and also electronic evidence as a whole be collected and exchanged between different law enforcement authorities in a lawful way and in a way that can also be useful in a court of law, and provide some assessment and recommendations on that. And then a very, very big part of the project is the awareness campaigns. So citizen awareness. This, of course, is our website, which is the observatory, but it's also our webinars and our physical events and bigger or smaller scale things, which includes also quizzes, games, articles, stories, role-playing games, and so on. So that we can reach different kinds of people, children, young people, old people, people with more or less familiarization with technology, and let them understand that two things. First, they must guard their own identity and also their own online identity. And second, they must be aware that not everything that they see online these days is true. So I have already talked about this. So the observatory is a two-faceted online portal. One is for the public and the citizens with information articles, awareness information, some examples and so on. And the second part is going to be restricted access for LEAs only and will include the technological tools that we are researching and developing. Now, in terms of timeline, the project is going to span 3 phases. Phase 1 is already complete. We had our needs and requirements. We went through the initial research and development phase. We have created the public part of the observatory, and we have planned how to reach victims and how to do our awareness campaigns. Now we are in the second phase. We are in the middle of developing the first version of our technological tools. The awareness campaigns have already started on multiple levels, as I explained. We have had interviews with victims to get their point of view and what happened and how they felt about it and how they wanted to be supported and were they or was something missing there. And of course, we have also studied the legal framework proposition. And next year, we're going to enter the phase 3, which will be updated version of the technological tools, the final version of the observatory, and also dissemination and stakeholder engagement. And of course, some things are continuous throughout all the phases, which is testing the tools, evaluating with the LEAs in our consortium, and constantly updating the observatory. So we are exactly in the middle, in month 18 of 36. You can see the Gantt chart, more or less. And this is what the consortium of EITHOS looks like. We have 6 partners from research and academia, a public safety forum that specializes on citizen awareness, 3 different law enforcement agencies, and also 2 private for-profit companies. So I hope I didn't take too long. We have, besides me, 3 other people that are going to take part in this workshop. Manuel is going to talk about the technological things, and in particular the biometrics, which will help us identify if someone, if a video is deepfake or if it is the real thing. Anastasia is going to talk about the ethical implications of our work, and Marie-Christine is going to talk about dissemination and exploitation. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Konstantinos. Great. Okay, we are a little bit over time. Thank you for our project coordinator for the insightful presentation. So they provided us with a comprehensive overview of the project. So now that we have this solid understanding, we will go into the innovative ideas driving the projects. our discussion will revolve now around the advancements in AI, biometric features, and other key technologies elements that are shaping the future of the border security and crime prevention. So we will start again with the same, let's say, categories of the project. So from TENSOR, we will have Apostolis from CERT. He will present he's a technical manager of TENSOR, and he will present the technical, developments in TENSOR. Again, please, everyone, overall, please be aware of the timeline that we have. So maximum 10 minutes presentation. Thank you so much. Please, Apostle.
Yes, just give me a second to share my screen. Right.
We can see. Okay,
All
perfect.
right, perfect. Okay, so thank you. I'm Apostolis Apostolaras. I'm a researcher at CERT, the Center for Research Methodology at LAS. Following the previous presentation, now CERT is continuing with the next presentation. Our presentation will delve into the technical details of our project TENSOR. And we will provide you the technical overview and the main achievements. So considering a basic part of the project was the design and the establishment of the architecture. In the architecture part, we have transitioned from the concept design that was briefly described into the DOE and transferred to a logical design. In essence, what we tried to achieve was the principle to use the principle of privacy and security by design in our methodology and put security and privacy at the center of the design from the early beginning, since we don't want to consider those two principles just as enabling features. So security and privacy by design is actually an agile set of focus security and privacy practices that includes threat models, privacy assessment, security testing, and vulnerability management. So the idea is that the organization shouldn't keep personal data private merely because the law requires, but that privacy and security practices should be the foundation of their operation, and they should monitor diligently at all times all the goods and services with privacy and security issues. In that manner, we try to overcome specific challenges. We try to align with a variety of technological components. We devised the way that we will implement the use case workflows and how this will be integrated into an investigation infrastructure for the use cases that have been identified, and how we will emulate an investigation environment for the use cases. So that was the challenge that we tried to address within the architecture design, and of course to include and utilize a multimodal system that includes 12 core forensic technologies. So moving next, so in the TENSOR architecture, 12 different core digital forensic technologies are placed together to deliver specific subsystems and functionalities. In addition, we also consider the usage of non-core technologies that facilitate the presentation and visualization of the information till the continuous integration and delivery of the software components. We chose 4 key different offerings in order to demonstrate the innovation offered by TENSOR project as part also of the architecture design. So the first key technology offering as an exploitable asset is the first introduced in the European Union biometric data space that offers a trustworthy data sharing environment that provides an extra safeguarded privacy by utilizing privacy-enhancing technologies. We will describe them in the following which those particular technologies are. The second key technology offering refers to the innovative application of long language models and the generative AI in the security domain that is used in order to offer insightful case story narratives and allows users coming from law enforcement authorities and agencies to connect the dots and have the story inside them. The third key offering relies on a multiple criteria decision making, which provides alternative options for decision making support by ranking the various collected information as evidence, which is based on non-uniform prioritization assessment of the collected evidence. So not all the evidence contributes with the same way to the produced outcome and recommendation. And the fourth key offering refers to the unlocking mobile devices, which utilizes open source, non-costly and non-commercial licensed locked software to provide an easy-to-use solution that can scale out and used by forensic practitioners in the investigation field. So the biometric data space allows sharing of biometric data in a trusted data ecosystem where owners keep control of their data that they own. The biometric data space creates identity and trust, supporting authentication mechanisms, self-sovereignty identity, and verifiable credentials. Moreover, it offers a federated catalog service where the search and comparison and match is available only on the encrypted data without revealing or disclosing the raw data information. Moreover, it enables data sharing and exchange. In the data plane, we consider the use of the blockchain technology, while in the control plane, the use of smart contracts to allow the automated exchange of terms for the data sharing and exchange to be enabled. And last but not least, the usage control is being used to enforce data usage policies and rules that govern the data exchange. So the data space, the biometric data space offers specific advantages regarding the creation of trustworthiness among the certified participants. It allows scalability and the connection of multiple forensic organizations from different countries. And in essence, it is a data ecosystem that offers specialized data services, enables data sovereignty and governance, and provides increased security and privacy by utilizing, as being told previously, the specific privacy enhanced technologies such as homomorphic encryption and fast indexing. So in Tensor, the biometric data space is not considered part of the Tensor architecture, but is a platform that is a standalone platform. It is based actually on the IDSA, International Data Spaces Reference Architecture Model, and also it aligns with the GAIA-X principles for data harmonization of the biometric data. It uses actually the notion of the connector, where each connector is seen as the interface for connecting one user or one organization to the other. And considering the blockchain solution is based on the solid framework that allows for the smart contract to take place and the data exchange to take place based on the smart contracts, and the deployment of advanced privacy enhanced technologies such as homomorphic encryption and the large-scale data indexing that allows search and query for match and comparison on the encrypted data. So why do we need actually a biometric data space to enable data sharing and exchange? Already there are well-established solutions and frameworks for data sharing and exchange. However, the use of biometric data space innovates in the field of data economy with the latest advancements in the data governance. And our solutions aligns with most of the identified existing solutions, such as the Europol Information Exchange Channel, the Siena Channel, Interpol's I-24/7, and as our project coordinator Eleni mentioned previously, with the latest and recently new requirements of the PRAM and PRAM2 model, considering the data exchange. And our offering, our biometric data exchange offering extends beyond their scope to offer to create a trustworthy data ecosystem for self-sovereignty biometric data exchange, which is improved and enhanced with specific privacy enhancing technologies. Moreover, in TENSOR, we aim to advance forensic investigation by using generative AI and large language models. We aim to leverage those technologies to provide improved understanding by performing comprehensive analysis on the evidence collected from various sources. The offered natural language communication will allow law enforcement agencies and forensic investigators to retrieve criminal investigation-related information using natural language instead of making queries to a database. And moreover, it will enhance them with processing of large volumes of data. Another important key exploitable asset of our architecture is the support for decision-making that is based on multiple criteria analysis. The investigation, recommendation, and enhancement component is utilized to fuse physiological and behavioral biometrics, along with some additional features that are being recognized, such as clothing color, face mask, or glasses. It can provide informed decision-making and recommendation by assessing the modalities, reliability, and applying different weights based on their prioritization. As previously mentioned, not all the modalities contribute with the same weight in the final outcome. Depending on the conditions, one might be ranked with a stronger priority in comparison with the others. Moreover, it finally provides a narrative generation for the cases under investigation, allowing also human intuition to intervene. The last key exploitable asset refers to the technology for unlocking mobile devices and retrieve useful information that can be collected as evidence in specific cases, such as terrorism, that demand instant access to the information by unlocking the phone and check the latest activity. The problem is that locked devices and encryption result in extended investigation times, and manufacturers continuously improve security mechanisms, incorporating sophisticated and more protective features, making unlocking and extracting data of mobile device a very big challenge. So there is a strong need to be able to bypass user authentication mechanisms on their mobile devices. And although costly commercial solutions are already available, they require expertise or training and are licensed locked products that are limited to a minimum number of users. So what we try and what we offer in TENSOR is an easy-to-use, inexpensive tool that can be used by every law enforcement agency, regardless of their expertise, that is scalable out to a large number of potential users. So that was all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Apostolos. Okay, we will move forward with a technical presentation from FLEXIcross. Orestes?
Yes, Anna, thank you very much for giving me the floor. Just a second to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
We can see the presentation mode, the one that you are seeing, but it's okay. Yes, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving the floor. It is our great pleasure for being here, and at the same time, we consider that it is a great privilege for us to share with all of you the same platform and having the opportunity to exchange ideas and exchange very useful experiences. Today, we'll talk about the presentation of the technical modules of FLEXIcross. In FLEXIcross, we have three use case border crossing pilots. The one is a port-based trial located at the port of Galati, at Romania. The other one is a road-based trial located at the northern borders between Greece and Bulgaria at Romania. And the last one is a train-based trial located at Tulbuleski, Romanian Moldovan border control point. Which are the needs, the border crossing needs we have identified? The first one regards the enhancement of port security through real-time biometric check and risk analysis. The second one is related with smart solutions for traffic relief and security advanced border checking operations. And the third one is how to streamline rail travel with an intelligent and secure border checking system. What is our approach? This is the envisioned FLEXIcross modules and system architecture, as previously Giuseppe highlighted. These are 4 layers. In the first layer, we have a data ingestion layer, which combines the hardware components, the sensors which are going to be used. In the second layer, we have more or less a pattern recognition layer. We have a crowd behavior analysis. We have vehicle data identity processing and entity classification or vision processing module. In the third one, security border service layer. This is mainly a risk identifier module. And last but not least, we have the creation of a user-friendly interface layer, highlighting having very useful analytical dashboards and with the opportunity to have a role-based control access and control UIs. I will mainly focus my attention here in the data processing layer. Of course, the final aim of our work is to provide a powerful and indispensable tool for border surveillance, providing unparalleled vigilance against potential threats. For this layer, what we have achieved is an AI-based pattern recognition module. We have achieved an indispensable feature extraction based on AI algorithms which enhance the feature extraction for images and videos. We have enabled the identification of relevant patterns and structures. And our second point is to achieve an object recognition and classification. For that, we have achieved an improved object recognition capability, along with enhanced accuracy in identifying and classifying objects with visual analysis. And the third point is about the anomaly detection. We are able to identify patterns or instances that deviate significantly from the norm. And this is crucial for detecting irregularities, outliers, or potential threats in various datasets. This is the case in the Greek pilot in use case 2, where we have a computer vision analysis tool. Here you can see 2 videos. The one video on the left-hand side is related with the identification of U-turn, and the other one on the right-hand side, you can see that it is related with unlawful parking. What are the capabilities? As we can see, we have the capability of vehicle identification and classification, along with the vehicle speed determination, and as I said previously, U-turns and unlawful parking events. The results, we envision to exploit this material in a web app based web apps for authorities, which are informed of the involved driving suspicious behavior and extract the related statistics. For the next slide here, you can see a video combining footages from drone cameras, exploiting computer vision analysis tools, the technical capabilities, with what is the context. The system receives an output video from a drone camera, and what we are able to do is to detect persons and tracking by detection algorithms, and finally to extract some features based on rule-based approaches related to the unusual pattern cases, such as person running or person out of a bound, as you can see here. What are the results? We also let's say plan to use these tools in web apps for authorities, and which are informed for the involved suspicious behavior. For the next slide, here we talk about person detection model. The technical capabilities are related with the opportunity of tracking a number of people who are located in a train and analyzing them as intruders. What is the opportunity? The opportunity is to inform law enforcement agencies and to act accordingly. The technologies which are utilized in these previous models can be summarized as integrated YOLO algorithms with convolutional neural networks. For the facial recognition models, what is our capability? The system can receive an input picture, taken from a mobile device, for example, and compare them with the database of IDs, cards, or passports. We can see the matching of the photo with the ID, and then inform the authorities about any arising inconsistencies and to act, let's say, accordingly. For the biometrics detection, the technical capabilities we have is that we have a well-defined model, create data from extraction national ID cards. We have the opportunity of data gathering and analysis. We are currently extract from Romanian national IDs very useful features. And finally, what is our plan is to integrate this model with web apps based for authorities in order to act accordingly. For these previous models, Open CV Library were used. And last, I conclude my talk. These are our next steps. For the midterm goals, we have the development of the tools in the REST layers. And for the long-term ones, this is about provision of a central FLEXIcross platform. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so
Luana,
much,
the floor
Orestes.
is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. Okay, we will move now to ODYSSEUS, and we have João Calapés.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, we can see your.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. So the ODYSSEUS project aims at providing a solution that delivers at the same time fast border crossing processes, both for travelers, persons, and vehicles, while ensuring also high security levels, providing informed decisions to border authorities and insights on the border crossing processes. The focus is on land and sea borders, both for on the land borders, including railways and vehicle border crossing points. It integrates several technologies that provide at different point in time interactions of travelers and vehicles with the system that will be processed by the platform and the decision support system for an overall risk assessment and decision on the border crossing authorization or refusal. The technologies include, so starting with the enrollment of travelers, there will be an application that will integrate the creation of a digital identity following ICAO DTC standards, creating both virtual component and the physical component stored at the traveler mobile device. And also a continuous behavioral authentication algorithm that will monitor the usage of the app, of the user, the interaction with the app. In terms of vehicle screening, there are two main technologies, the X-ray technologies for vehicle scanning and drones, UAVs equipped with thermal and high-resolution cameras. The border crossing process performed with the border control touch points and with video monitoring, faceless GDPR compliant travels counting, and the overall decision support system based on multimodal fusion from the input from the different systems, creating a decision and with the explainable AI to inform on the why that decision was taken. So going a bit in detail into each of these technologies. So the creation of the digital and virtual passports. So travelers will be using their mobile phones, uploading their travel document, capturing selfies with liveness detection. So creating a secure enrollment process that will generate the digital identity. Depending on the use cases, it may be either directly shared with the ODYSSEUS platform or as a DTC virtual component, or it can also be stored on a wallet format in the app for following the DTC physical component, ICAO digital travel credential physical component, where the traveler holds the passport in his mobile device and presents it to the border crossing point and controlling when to present that information. This allows for anticipation of the risk assessment before the traveler reaches the border crossing point, not only with the enrollment but also with the registration of travel. So border authorities will be informed, this especially at the land borders, land and sea borders, not being subject to other regulations from the airline industry, where airlines are required to present that information through the advanced passenger information and PNR. In this case, border forces will get advanced information also through this channel. A second component to secure the enrollment and digital identity app is the AI continuous behavioral authentication that is able to authenticate the usage of the wallet by assessing the behavioral patterns and generating a risk score that allows the ODYSSEUS system platform to authenticate that it's actually the actual user who is interacting and accessing the wallet application. So this is for the enrollment part. Then moving to the vehicle scanning. So we'll have the X-ray technology focused on well, at the same time having the safest possible technology, so with a very low exposure to X-rays to avoid any risk, any health risks, but also enabling scanning of vehicles in movement, and this applies both to cars, vehicles, but also to trains. So the technology is in progress in order to achieve this combination of vehicle in movement, but very low exposure to radiation, and also enhancing the detection of risk of threats based on the image on the X-ray images, detecting substances, vehicles, guns, and any kind of threat that may be present at while the vehicle is being checked. A second technology is linked to the vehicle scanning is the use of UAVs equipped with thermal and high resolution cameras that will be as the vehicle is approaching the border crossing point. The UAVs will be flying around the vehicles, again allowing for vehicles not be required to stop to be checked. And the output of these images being provided to the DSS for AI algorithms to run on detection of different situations, such as detecting a number of people inside the vehicle, detecting vehicle modifications, and a few other use cases that are maybe relevant to the border control authorities. Then moving from the vehicles to the travelers border control. So for the actual border crossing of the travelers, based on the enrollment they've provided via the enrollment app, the ODYSSEUS technology will be focusing on implementing on-the-move face capture and identification of travelers against a gallery of pre-registered travelers, and already receiving the feedback from the decision support system on the risk assessment and the authorization for the traveler to cross the border. Also, another innovation on this use case is the use of the DTC PC, the Digital Travel Credentials Physical Component, following ICAO specifications, as well. They were very recently published, and where the traveler presents the virtual passport stored on his mobile phone rather than his physical passport. Second technology focused on the travelers border crossing scenario is the monitoring of the actual border crossing point through the use of cameras installed on different positions, either indoor or outdoor, and with the video streams being analyzed by certain algorithms that can perform different use cases, such as counting of objects or persons in specific areas, detect the entrance in forbidden areas, and raising alarms on that case, detecting left objects or on specific areas, also assessing the queue size and the dwell time for example, to inform the border authorities that eventually additional resources would be good to as the queues are increasing and the waiting time is getting bigger. All of this video stream is provided to the DSS, and again, where ODYSSEUS platform processes all information and provides the feedback to the border authorities. Then the multimodal fusion and decision support system. So at the core of the ODYSSEUS platform is this DSS that receives the input from the multiple technologies, applying AI models to perform the risk assessment and detection of threats and of potential risks to be communicated to the border forces. Also deciding on the outcome of the transaction to allow the traveler to cross the border or not, and also to provide other information to the border authorities. This is supported by explainable AI, basically to show the why certain decision was taken by the machine learning algorithms in case the border enforcement wishes to explore certain feedback from the DSS for a specific situation. So these are the different technologies that will be integrated into the ODYSSEUS platform. So the platform will integrate all of this. It will deliver the different modules that will allow the consortium to perform the pilots at the different scenarios presented by Dana earlier, either at both land and water scenarios. The ODYSSEUS platform will also provide customer-facing interfaces to the border force and to the passengers, the citizens, based on the DSS results and on the risk assessment, and also produce reports and visualization and analytics based on after the border crossing and aggregating the data from multiple from certain period. So this is the presentation for ODYSSEUS. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to present. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Super. Now we will move to technical presentation of EITHOS, and Manuel, please feel free to share the screen.
Okay, just give me a second.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, I'm going to the... Okay, this is a very short explanation about the ETHOS technological approach to our problem that, as Kostis explained, is deepfake detection. This is the technological part. There are more than deepfakes. There are also botnets and audio fakes, but we're going to explain that in... This is table of contents. I'm going to go very fast through them because I know we are delayed. Well, this is the first one. The strategy that ETHOS has chosen for this technical challenge, we studied several approaches, several different algorithms, and we finally decided to go for the expressions analysis because we have the hope that it will be independent of the technology used in the future by deepfakers. And it's also independent of the different kind of techniques that are basically to face synthesis, which is an artificial face, or a face cloning, which is cloning a real person's face. With this approach, we are going to compare natural expressions of the victim with the suspicious video. So we can determine if certain patterns in the facial expressions of the victim are present in the video or not, all in an automatic way. And we have the hope that this is an independent, absolutely independent approach from technology, since it's based in human expressions. And probably in the future, no matter how good the evolution of the fake technology, they are not going to capture the richness of facial expressions, and that's our hope. So how are we getting these micro expressions from the face? Very quick. First of all, we detect the face with two different algorithms. The first one on the left is just to is very quick. We determine only 5 points at the center of the eyes, nose, and mouth, and is used only to align the face vertically in order to do our analysis. There is also a more complicated algorithm that gets 500 points from a face and is used to gain a 3D shape of a mesh of the face. I don't want to go into very detailed terminology. Using this very detailed mesh, we can extract with a temporal analysis of the different positions of mouth, eyes, nose, and eyebrows, etc. We can get different gestures, which psychologists call action units. There are much more action units that those that are present in the screen. This is just an example of the kind of micro expression that we can get from this three-dimensional mesh, like moving up the inner eyebrow, moving up the chin, closing the eyes, winking, etc. Each action unit, each expression is calculated in 5 levels of intensity, that from A to E. Also, the head orientation and the gaze orientation of the eyes is calculated in order to be compared with the natural motion of the victim. We record a video of the victim and we compare the natural motion of the head and the gaze of the person with the video fake. They normally doesn't match. Is a very good clue. Also, a new part of the video fake detection is audio, which is made by one of the participants in the consortium, also in Spain. The audio fake detection is based on trying to detect tricks on the audio, like edited audio. If you cut and passed some parts of the audio, doing a microanalysis, this edition can be detected because the sound wave is not absolutely continuous, and there is a discontinuity in this part, like micro changes in the background noise, etc. It's also based in detection of a natural voice. Synthesized voice is very good nowadays, but still can be detected and differentiated from natural voice. And clone voice, which is the most dangerous one, because based on a real person voice, they can clone and create an artificial imitation that is very good, but still detectable. Also, a part of the project is detecting botnets, which are being used for criminal purpose. And in order to do that, we use web technologies like crawlers that are kind of spiders that are just crawling constantly the social network. In order to do that, we have to access the API of the network and use these mentioned technologies. And I would like to do a very quick demonstration about how easy it is to create a deepfake. Can we see my face in the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about this? Is this the real Manuel, or is this? What do you think? Or maybe this one, much younger. The face is three-dimensional. It's integrated in my body. Also for the older version of me.
Oh my God.
Actually, this is based on a very popular actor called Stanley Tucci. Maybe you recognize some parts of its face. It's three-dimensional, and it's so easy to do it. I just prepared it this morning. It took me half an hour or so. It's based only in one picture of the person.
That's great. That's interesting, Manuel.
This is the real me.
It's even scaring, sorry.
Yeah, it's scaring how easy it is to do it.
Exactly.
And finally, I think there was a final slide, but just thank you for your attention, etc. So that's
Thank you
all
so much, Manuel, for also demonstrating. It's very indeed. It's interesting how easy things can be.
It's really scarring because you just need a normal computer and a picture of a person. You can get it.
Okay.
Really worrying. It's a real problem.
Indeed. Okay, and that's why we are here to tackle all these threats and find solutions. Okay, so now we finalize with the technical presentations. So we will have a 10 minutes break for you to, I don't know, grab a coffee and see you at 38 minutes. So it's 3:38, I guess. And then we will continue with the exploitation activities. And please make sure, or if you can stretch the presentation for the exploitation in 5 minutes, that would be great. So see you in 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, I guess you enjoyed the little break. So I hope everyone is back. So continue with our agenda. We are in the next segment, the exploitation activities. We will cover strategic initiatives and collaborative efforts aimed to maximize the impact of our research outcomes. So from the market analysis to commercialization strategies, our exploitation activities are focused in driving tangible results and societal benefits. So given the fact that some projects are, at the beginning of the second year, let's say these activities are not, we will have an initial, information about this approach. So we will start with Panayotis from TENSOR, and he will present the exploitation activities for the project. Please feel free to share the screen.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my screen. So can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. You can see me now, and?
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. So my name is Panagiotis Papanikolaou. I represent TENSOR Consortium Partner EITHOS Consulting. And actually, we have the pleasure and the honor to deal with the exploitation management of TENSOR project. So I'll try to be brief, as you asked, Anna. This is actually an activity within the framework of the project that just started, as you very correctly mentioned. So the objectives as described from the DOA is, of course, to identify the exploitation potential of produced result by all project partners. This is actually the point of the exact point in which research meets the market. That's why we will have planned to assess the market outlook and perform the techno-economic analysis required in order to see elements of commercialization in the use of TENSOR developed technology to ensure the efficient and continuous management of the IPRs, and of course to identify and analyze the innovation potential of TENSOR. Now, there are two major pillars of expected outcomes. The one is what you can see now regarding the impact enhancement, the market analysis and the business model. By this analysis and the analysis of possible business models, this will lead eventually to the actual exploitation of the TENSOR result and will actually provide the necessary guidelines for the definition of the business plan. Of course, to identify barriers and conditions existing in the market and the preparation of the partners' exploitation plans. The other major pillar is regarding IPR and innovation management. And if in the expected outcomes, the first pillar, the keyword might be sustainability here, the keyword is safeguarding. Safeguarding IPR through patent submission and implementation of creative ideas. And of course, constant monitoring of the emerging market opportunities via the strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats, as well as political, economic, social, and technological factor analysis. Now, it's very crucial to identify, to find any potential regulatory constraints and opportunities for placing TENSOR innovations, and to identify the relevant stakeholders through innovation workshop. There is a plan for a 6-month reporting regarding these related activities, which is very crucial not only for identification but for steer wheeling of the expected outcomes. Now, steps that has took place so far is that a market analysis questionnaire was prepared in month 13 with actually the initialization of this task. And there was a distributed questionnaire to partners at month 14. Now, this focus on market dynamics, competitor, and business models. We are actually in the current process of taking the first results and analyze market trends, demands, and gaps. To develop a clear value proposition for exploitable results, and this will turns out to be provision to the partners relevant to their exploitation plans and the IPR aspects with a questionnaire at month 14. Now, the first version will be completed on month 15 for the market analysis, as well as the individual exploitation plans, in order to provide any IPR details that may occur. And this, of course, will go up to every 6-month update regarding the market analysis and the exploitation plan. Now, this is a sample of the questionnaire template that we use in order to collect our feedback with some sample answers here. And since by the actual creation of, and that happens in every project, in every research project, when the dissemination exploitation plan, it is, let's say, it is ready and it is submitted, let's use that term, that technical term, then there are actual elements of what the exploitation plan and analysis will be like. So we consider the fact that exploiting the Horizon Results platform in order to revisit technology offerings for exploitable assets, to reassess any potential based on latent market trend and extend the list to include non-technical and intangible outcomes, will further help project to identify the post-key exploitable results upon this platform. Up to now, we had already made first contact with the Horizon Results Booster, collecting the preliminary inputs on task at month 13. And we plan to leverage this tool provided by European Commission in specifically utilizing the module C and which has to do with assisting projects, as you may see, to enhance their existing exploitation strategy, to create a part of portfolio dissemination exploitation strategy, and to focus on key exploitable results as offered from the Horizon Result Booster. And then by this way, of course, as other projects, we're seeking the appropriate guidance from this very useful tool of the European Commission, and focus to optimize the approach of reaching the market. It is very essential in terms of turning any result that are produced within the framework of TENSOR project reachable to the market, because actually it is a reciprocal, let's say, action. And of course, to emphasize on the collaboration with the Horizon Strategic Booster for strategic refinement. So after this, the leverage business plan development, which is another HRB service, will be used, and we will be able to guide the partners in the best possible way for the optimal business plan. And at the last but not least, to facilitate, which is the very essence of exploitation, to facilitate any project result and its transition to the market. Now, there is, let's say, somehow a roadmap with some drawn steps guiding to the exploitation management. We are here on the market March 12 with our FCT workshop. So by the end of March, we'll be merging all the inputs, and then we will proceed during April with exploitation strategy seminar, and after that we will proceed to the market analysis and the business plan. That was from my side. Thank you very much for your attention, and if there are any questions, I'm very glad to answer.
Thank you so much, Panayotis, for presenting tensor exploitation activities. We will move forward now with FLEXIcross, and Thomas, please feel free to share the screen.
Yes, hello, Janna. Hello, everybody. Thank you for this lovely workshop that is really very fruitful. Let me just share my screen quickly. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Thomas Azra. I'm representing EITHOS, an SME in Cyprus. We are part of the FLEXIcross projects, and we are leading the dissemination, communication, and exploitation activities. Okay, the dissemination, communication, and exploitation roadmap is divided into 3 phases. The first phase that already started and almost finished, which is to build the footprint for the project in terms of project website, social media presence on many platforms, to raise the awareness of the project, to show the people that the project exists, what is the objective, what we aim to do, what is the expected outcome. Then we will move to the phase 2, which is continuing the awareness raising approach and moving to the stakeholder engagement, where we will engage stakeholders within the border management industry, let's say, and to expose the project and to make joint activities with other projects and other clusters to make the best of all the research that is being done within FLEXIcross projects and other projects as well. And the phase 3, which is the last phase, where we start working on the capacity building and impact generation, to gather all the experiences and challenges that were faced and raised during the project, and to give it to the border management authorities to make impact and to train them and give them some insights. Now the timeline, it's divided into 3. We started in 2023, which was the phase 1 as well, where we did many participation in symposium and fairs. We will see it in the next slides. And technical workshop as well, that we started internally at the beginning. Then in 2024, which started already, where we're gonna move further with the technical workshop externally with other similar projects and other clusters, where we can share the experience that we are gaining, to start making trainings, tutorials, webinars to the authorities, to the border management personnel. We already started doing newsletters and press releases to engage the audience with the advancement, with the findings, with the results of the projects that we are generating. And in 2025, we'll continue for sure with the technical workshops and the physical trainings, webinars, and pilot trials. And this is the main fruit of the project at the end, which is the 3 trials that Giuseppe introduced during the first phase of the workshop.
Thomas, sorry to interrupt. Can we, you have done a great presentation. Can we skip the dissemination communication and just only focus on the exploitation?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so this is like, let's say, the exploitation in terms of synergies and joint activities with the other project and clusters, where we're gonna be publishing in peer-reviewed journals and technical publications, along with other projects as well. We're gonna do workshops similar to the one that we're doing today as well, with tutorials and webinars. We're going to have many exhibitions as well, in scientific conferences, industrial exhibitions and symposium, and the general spreading with relevant actions. Now for the exploitation, the exploitation strategy that we have is divided into 2, which is the first one is the commercialization, which is divided into market and trend analysis, target user and competitors, joint exploitation plan, and business model. So what we started is what we generated each partner from his side, like a proprietary exploitation plan, and we studied the market and the target users and competitors, and now we aim to jointly develop one exploitation plan to be used for the generation of the final business model. And the second is the intellectual property right that we started already since the beginning of the project, where we defined all the, let's say, the background IPRs or all the copyrights that all the partners has. And we are during the, let's say, the development that is ongoing during the project, some foreground on some new copyrights may arise that need to be let's say, saved. This is the achievement so far, where we put until like December 2023, we developed the market and trend analysis and the competitors. And we, as I said, we will continue further until July 25 to develop the joint exploitation plan and the final business model. During the exploitation and the work that is ongoing now, we define the sector performance, where we realize that the sector revenue of the overall sector, there was a growth from 2011 until 2018, with a small drop between 2014 and 2012 and 14 due to the international economic slowdown. And we realized also that from 2011 to 2020, the number of enterprise operating in the security system service activities has also grown in the EU and the countries of the FLEXIcross partners. So this is an indication that this industry is growing, and where we need to put more efforts and more research within this industry to follow. Now, for the border security market and customer segments, we realize that we have a different segment, or we divided the market into three segments, let's say. It could be divided by approach, which could be by threat-based approach and actor-based approach, or by environment, could be ground, aerial, or underwater, based on the application that we're doing within the project. And last, by system, which is the system that we're going to be developing or using within the project. And the second is the customer segment. We define the customer segments of the project or the end users as well. We define the border control authorities, LEA, military bodies, crisis management authorities, and so on. We define the agencies involved in border operations, which is Frontex, the critical infrastructure protection, and other agencies as well. And here we can see the joint plan and the business model. The joint plan, as I said, we developed each and every partner an individual exploitation plan, which will be used as material to the final joint exploitation plan. We have the key exploitable results that we are achieving within the project. And in parallel, as I said, we have the IPR rights to secure the findings and the research and the results that project partners are developing. And the last one is that we adopted the lean canvas business model, where we are working on the unique value proposition of the project and to find what are the solution that we are and the features that we are giving within the project, and what are the customer segments, and lastly to have like a cost structure and revenue streams for the final project for the commercialization part. And thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Thomas, so much for the presentation. Okay, moving next to Odysseus and Joao.
Hi, hello everybody. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Super,
yes, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is João Carreira. I'm from Visionbox. Visionbox is the exploitation manager of ODYSSEUS. So I'm going to speak about the exploitation activities that are going to take place within the scope of the project. So the tasks that encompass the exploitation activities are impact enhancement, market analysis, and business modeling, IPR and innovation management, contribution to existing border protection policies and regulations, and impact on operational standards and standardization activities. So we are at the beginning of month 15 of the ODYSSEUS project. You can see that all these tasks started on month 13, apart from tasks of the contribution to existing border protection that is going to start on month 24. So we have just started the exploitation activities, and so there is no tangible outputs that I can show yet, but I'm going to speak a bit about the planned activities, exploitation activities for the project. So we have 3 deliverables that are related to exploitation. We have the first version of the dissemination, communication, exploitation, and stakeholders engagement report. This deliverable was already submitted, and it has a first draft of the exploitation strategy. Then we'll have the second deliverable, impact enhancement, innovation management, standardization activities, and policy recommendations. This deliverable will compile all the inputs from that will be the result of all the exploitation activities carried out throughout the project. And then we will have the final version of the dissemination, communication, exploitation, and stakeholders engagement report, where we will have the final version of our exploitation strategy. So starting with the exploitation activities, we first had to identify the exploitable assets and the ownership of those assets. So we have identified 8 exploitable assets that are going to be the technologies developed within the scope of the project. So we have seamless identity verification in border crossing, digital and virtual passport, AI-powered continuous behavioral authentication, non-obtrusive and safe X-ray technologies for vehicle scanning, UAV-assisted vehicle scanning based on thermal and high-resolution cameras, the faceless GDPR-compliant travelers counting, multimodal fusion and decision support system, and XAI for privacy and trust enhancement. So this have been all described by my colleague at the technical presentation. And of course, who will exploit these assets? Primarily, it will be the partners that are developing the technologies, and also the end users, so the border policies, and other legal enforcement agencies, and also governmental bodies and the European Union and standardization bodies. So as exploitation activities, we will build a business plan and sales impact for each of the individual partners, and also for the joint consortium as a whole. So we are going to do a state-of-the-art analysis to see what is already in the market and what are the alternatives to the ODYSSEUS technologies. We'll make a competitor analysis to see who is selling alternative technologies to the ODYSSEUS, and then we'll do market segmentations where we will identify which are our potential clients, customers, which will of course be end users like police borders, sea and land, and other possible customers. Then we will make a projection of revenue and costs. So how much revenue will the partners generate by selling these technologies, and what will be the cost projections in terms of implementation costs, hardware costs, labor costs, and also do a go-to-market strategy where we will, after doing the market segmentation, select the channels for which we will reach the potential clients, and also what is the message that we want to pass through the clients in order to make sure that our technologies are going to be selected for them to use for border control. Also, we will conduct some intellectual property activities. We will conduct a global search against the prior art for potential invention, trademarks, and other IPRs to make sure that there is no overlapping technologies that will prevent us from protecting our intellectual property. And we will protect our intellectual property by submitting patents. So we have committed in our grant agreement to submit a minimum of 2 patents. We will also perform a SWOT matrix to identify the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of our exploitable assets, and also do an analysis, a PESTEL analysis to identify external factors that might impact the future exploitation of our technologies. So other activities, so we will define how will the ODYSSEUS technologies keep being developed in the future and by whom. We'll do this to guarantee that there is a future exploitation potential in all the technologies, and for that the technologies have to keep being developed continuously. We'll also release some scientific publications, which will be a scientific contribution for the scientific community. And we will also do some standardization activities as recommendations to the border guard authorities and law enforcement agencies, prepare a concrete plan to submit contributions to relevant standardization forums and bodies, and monitor the standard organizations relevant to ODYSSEUS. So that's all for me. I don't know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Joao. Thank you so much for the presentation of ODYSSEUS exploitation activities. And now we will have the presentation from EITHOS. Marie?
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everybody. So I will share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, okay, good. So I will present the exploitation activity of ETHOS, as already mentioned by Kostis. We are in the middle of the project, so it means that we have spent a lot of time in setting up the main feature of ETHOS, and now we are starting the work on exploitation. So I will mention the route for the development and exploitation of our results, the activities that we are carrying, and the stakeholders we are dealing with. So for the exploitable results, in fact, as already mentioned, our project is a bit specific because we've got 2 different types of activity, in fact. We've got the observatory on online identity theft, and this observatory is meant for the public, so for the citizen, for the victims, and we are developing different activities under this, like games, quiz, comics, awareness campaign, definition article, frequently asked questions, and we want to relay and support some other existing campaign. And then, as also developed by Manuel, we are developing some tools for the LA. So the fake botnet detection, the knowledge extraction, and deepfake detection, both audio and video. And so these tools are really for the LAs, and we are doing specific training for them. And we have a clear cut between these 2 sides of the project. Yes, so now for our activities, what we are doing, as I mentioned already, we are here I'm mixing a bit dissemination, communication, and exploitation. So we're organizing campaign and large webinar to increase the prevention, to raise awareness, to provide support to the victim. We are doing some clustering activities with other FCT projects, also with other law enforcement authorities. We've got dedicated webinars for the LAs to increase their expertise and to get also their feedback in order to better tailor-made our own tools. And regarding exploitation, we are now at a stage where we are defining our key exploitation results. So we are in the characterization phase of these results. And our intention is to apply to service one of the Horizon Research Booster for exploitation. So to apply for the exploitation strategy in the coming weeks, and then later on will be in the last year of the project to go a step further and to go for the service 2 of the booster for the business plan development. And as I said, it might be easier when we'll have the different solution provider for the different tools. For the observatory itself, it's like an observatory for the benefit of the society. And then we'll have to enter more into political or societal discussion on who could manage and who could continue and sustain the observatory. So we have these two dimensions that are totally different, I would say. And you will see that with our stakeholders we are dealing with. So we've got the public, so we've got citizen, consumer, banks, children associations. So we are trying to work with different networks of representing this different type of public. We are working with law enforcement authorities. So within our project, we've got, of course, some law enforcement authorities, but we try to go broader and to engage with more law enforcement authority. We saw that they are very interested in having new tools, but they're also very interested in getting more knowledge on the impact on victim, because it is something that is less, there is less research on this aspect. And we are working also on the impact on evidence recognition and also legislative instrument participating in some consultation at EU level. We are dealing with different players at EU level, like GGO, Europol, CEPOL, European Parliament, ENISA, and national player with cybersecurity expert, private company, and national stakeholders. So for us, the exploitation part of ETHOS is really twofold. We will do for the different tools, all that has been mentioned before with other projects. It means the IPR policy, exploitation strategy, and we'll use the very good services provided by the booster. But we have also the political dimension that will take also a lot of part of our energy for exploitation. So I tried to make it short because I know that I am the last one, so it's not so easy.
Thank you so much, Marit. I really appreciate. Thank you for considering the time as well. So thank you for the presentation. All right, then we are continuing our journey through today's workshop with an imperative, let's say, reflect on the ethical and policy dimension for our projects. So obviously we are promoting innovation, but at the same time we need to protect the fundamental rights, right? So let's move forward with the presentation that we have for Tensor. So Marta?
Yes. Anna, sorry. Could we anticipate engineering FLEXIcross presentation just because of another obligation with a colleague, if possible?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so we will have first FLEXIcross and then Tensor. Sorry, Marta.
Thank you. Thank you very much for understanding.
Please,
Let me Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, we will continue with presenting the legal and ethical considerations in FLEXIcross. So the approach that we have used in our project was, on the one hand, to have a project legal gender and ethics manual, and on the other hand, there were the ethics requirements that the project was identified with, and the two have complemented each other. And so on the one hand, we have addressed the issues of the involvement of humans, processing of personal data, third countries, partners from third countries present in the project, in the consortium, health and safety at work, and artificial intelligence, while in the manual it was further detailed these ethics requirements, address the issues related to artificial intelligence, biometric techniques, blockchain, and personal data. The whole approach was supported by an ethics board with two internal members and one external, who initially supported the consortium in identifying the requirements, defining procedures, action points, and further on focused and is now focusing more in monitoring and supporting the partners in the adopting and implementing these requirements in concrete. As a legal and ethics compliance roadmap, we have the first phase in which we dedicated our time in analyzing the legal and ethics framework applicable to FLEXIcross, defining the ethics governance framework, prepare the foundational procedures for the adherence to the research policy principles. We have prepared consultative checklist, define the guidelines, requirements, and recommendations to the partners, and prepared a number of templates to be as a support during the project lifetime. The second phase was and is now more on implementing these legal and ethical requirements, performing awareness and training campaigns, support the consortium in complying with the legal and ethics framework, and also perform constant monitoring activities. The last phase will focus on completing the ethics and the legal manual, update the legal and ethical framework, identify the gaps in the current legislations, and also provide further recommendations for law enforcement authorities. Again, each phase of this is being reviewed by our external ethics advisor, which on the one hand looks in what we have performed and provides additional suggestions, recommendations to be included in the following phase. As ethical challenges and concerns that we had to face, and some of them we have addressed already, others are still being handled. Is on the one hand human involvement in validation and trial phase in real operational conditions. There was also the risk of processing extensive amount of personal data, including special categories of personal data and profiling activities. We also have the AI Act, its final draft and its impact on the FLEXIcross toolkit. The use of biometric techniques like facial recognition and fingerprints, and the implementation and establishment of a framework for privacy and secure data processing with the use of blockchain technology compliant with the GDPR. So as I mentioned, some of these aspects were already addressed, others are being further elaborated, like the AI Act, which finally we have it's an informal final version, and now we are planning to organize on the one hand some awareness sessions with the researchers to inform them about the content and the requirements under this new regulation, but also in looking into the tools and solutions of FLEXIcross and assess if any of each of them falls under the prohibition practices, of if there are high risks, how they need to be adapted, or which measures, actions need to be included in order to make sure they will be eventually compliant also with the AI Act. So this is from my side, and this was the approach that we have used and we are using during in the FLEXIcross from a legal ethical point of view.
Thank you, Ioana, for your presentation. Okay, now we will move with the TENSOR presentation for the ethics and policy actions. Please, Marta, if you'd like to share the screen.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Okay, I don't know why. Because I want to open.
Marta, are you still with us? Maybe she has some connections problem. So, okay, let's move with ODYSSEUS and Marina.
Yes, I'm here, so let me just share.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you confirm if you see
yes,
something?
we can see. We can see the screen.
Okay, perfect. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marina Andava. I'm this ODYSSEUS Ethics Advisor, and I am a research fellow at the Institute of International Sociology of Gorica, which is, of course, project partner of ODYSSEUS. So I would like to just, respecting the time, but also, present the ODYSSEUS data protection and ethics framework, and what is behind in terms of conceptual and management framework, and what the activities, procedures, and outputs we have done so far. In terms of the ethics and data protection framework, we have established a sort of a structure that is composed of 3 pillars. The first one, as you can see, is the conceptual and management framework, which includes all the bodies and governance actors that are involved in the ODYSSEUS framework, and of course the principles and standards we are obliged to follow during the course of the project. And the second pillar are the procedures, and we have adopted several of assessments and procedures for evaluation and monitoring of all the requirements that should be met in terms of ethics within the project. And the third pillar is the activities and outputs, meaning events, any kind of workshops that we have done, and of course the documents, outputs of our work. So I will present briefly all these 3 segments or these 3 pillars and the details within. And when it comes to the first one, so of course we have a data governance structure, and we are mainly following the data management principles that you can see, such as fair data quality assurance, minimization, anonymization, pseudonymization. We use informed consent whenever a research activity involves human participants. And of course, we make sure that there is an adequate backup, storage capacity, and access control of the data and the documentations that we're circulating within the project. When it comes to the actors that are involved, there are 2, let's say, levels. The first one is the project level, where we have the ethics advisor, that will be me, and external independent ethics board, which is composed of 2 external experts, a project coordinator, and a security advisory board. I should mention here that there is an ethics board as well. And the ethics board is actually composed of the 2 externals and 3 internal members of the consortium, including myself. At the partner level, we have, of course, data protection officers. So these are responsible in terms of their respective activities in order to be aligned with the GDPR and compliance, and of course, other national and internal regulations of their respective institution. As you know, of course, we follow the fair data management principle, which is, as you can see, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable standards in terms of the data that we circulate within the project. I come now to the principles and standards that we use, and of course, this is one of the key principles in research ethics, and that is the Code of Ethics, where we follow a mixture, let's say, of ethicals and data protection principles, and we are going to see later on, just in a second, what are the key data protection and ethics principles within the project. So when it comes to the ethical principles, we follow, of course, so we align sort of with the ethic principles that are established within the Horizon Europe regulation establishing the financial instrument. And we have a list of ODYSSEUS principles. And you can see the description here. I just don't want to read all of them, but the integrity, voluntary participation, the protection of the participants, any activities of anticipating harms, avoiding, of course, improper intrusion. We make sure that there is adequate representation and expertise within the consortium for the specific job that needs to be done within the research activities, and of course, confidentiality and anonymity. And you can see on the left side how we align it with the Horizon Europe ethical principles. When it comes to data protection principles, of course, we follow the GDPR principles, and we have established our own list, of course, which is aligned with the GDPR principles as a description and what are the activities that are involved and what these specific activities need to take care of in terms of the principles, such as non-incompatible use or, purpose limitation, data minimizations, prohibition and exceptions. In terms of very linked with a purpose limitation, notifications and prior checks, if, of course, during the course of the organization of the research activities, but also in terms of the reporting of the research activities. I mentioned informed consent when there is the recruitment, but also direct involvement of human participant, access to the information for the data subjects in regard to their privacy and personal information and right according to the GDPR. And the last one is whenever we do the elaboration of research results, we have to follow automated decision, or actually prohibition of automated individual decision of this process. When it comes to the procedures, so we have established a set of ethical assessments. Firstly, we have the so-called privacy, ethical, social, and legal impact assessment, which is a data protection impact assessment. We have done already this first cycle through an online questionnaire, and now we're in a phase of elaboration of the results. A self-assessment, so we have a specific template provided and we provided to the partners, of course, with some guidelines of how to use it, and how to assess, self-assess their work in individual research activities according to the description of work of the project, and a risk assessment, which is actually a collective effort that we all project partners do. It's not on an individual basis. What are the activities? So far, we have organized one ethic workshop, and the second one is coming this year, where we presented to the project partners what is our framework, of course, what are the obligations, what are the ethical requirements, and of course all the self-assessment documents. But also we organized, especially an institute project partner, Isaac, where I come from, it's interactive activities, and whenever there is help within the project partners and the consultation, we do that on a regular basis when it's needed. But we will also make meetings with external advisory, external experts, and whenever there is needed, and on the basis of their description of work and responsibilities or the need to do, we help them in a system in this effort. And of course, the individual consultation meetings whenever that is necessary. We also did one synergy workshop already with ODYSSEUS, so this is our second one. So thank you very much for inviting us. It's really a pleasure to be today with all of you here. What are the contribution that we actually request throughout the project is, of course, doing the individual assessments, such as whenever there is a research activity involving individuals, there is a specific recruitment checklist that the project partners need to follow. The self-assessment I mentioned, but also there are two others, like making sure that there is a plan if there is an incidental findings possibilities, and health and safety assessment, which is part, of course, of the ethics requirements, as we've seen and heard from the previous project, that are standard ethics requirements for this kind of projects. We also requested from the project partners a specific declaration on an individual basis of for compliance with the GDPR, the guidelines of trustworthy AI in terms of ethics. And of course, we cannot do that now with the AI Act because it's not formal yet. And of course, we have templates for informed consent forms and already adopted, which now in the course of the project need to be further developed depending on the research activity. And because AI components are part of the project, we also we use the LTI online system in order to make the assessments as well. But we also have a specific template where we elaborate our responses on the LTI questionnaire. That is all from my side. Of course, if you have any question, and I do hope I didn't take any more time for the other speakers with this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you so much for the comprehensive presentation. Okay, we will move now to Tensor and Marta. Are you back?
Yes.
Okay.
So I assume that now everything will be fine. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
I don't know why, because I compartir pantalla. But in theory, it should be because I'm sharing the screen, all the screen.
No, we cannot see it, Marta.
Because it says that it's needed to share my screen. I don't know why.
Marta, I will share the screen of the presentation.
Yeah,
just give me 1 second.
If you don't mind, because it says that I need an additional permission, so I don't know why. But in any case, so I will start before you. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for this inconvenience with the presentation. So my name is Marta, and I will present the ethical issues in TENSOR project. So that will be covered by EITHOS. I wanted to stress one point that even if there are one ethics requirements in TENSOR project, that it will be the recruitment with the participants, the security measure, the third countries participants, and the artificial intelligence issues. So it doesn't mean that it's only the ethics issues in one work package. This is something that is in more activities in a lot of work packages, especially when there is one interaction with the human beings, in this case with the users. So, and it's something that it's not only in one activity, it's one overview of the activities. So our role in this project is to monitor one of the legal aspects that could affect TENSOR, and in this case, as my colleagues stressed, especially the EU Artificial Intelligence Act, so that this is something that we have to be aware of this, because it could provoke some things. From the legal approach, so I want to say that we are taking care about two issues. For one side, the technological development that we are doing in Tensor, the platform and the innovation, and for another one, to research involving human beings in Tensor. So this is something that we want to make this distinction. So the development of by himself, but at the same time, the research that we are going to do with the human beings. Regarding the development of Tensor project, as my colleagues stressed in advance, so we have the Charter Fundamental Rights of the EU, the General Data Protection, GDPR, of course, the Convention. So it's something that we have to keep in mind, and this is really important in our case, the biometric, the Article 5, and the special categories in data protection that we have in the GDPR. So regarding the artificial intelligence is something that is really, really important in our project. So because we have to provide one methodology that it will be used to assess the artificial intelligence that we are using. So in this case, we are going to use the ethics guidelines for trustworthy artificial intelligence that it has been presented by the high-level expert group for artificial intelligence. The key elements in this issue, it will be human agency oversight, technical robustness and safety, privacy and data governance, transparency, diversity, non-discrimination and fairness, social and environmental well-being, and accountability. So this is something that we are going to take into account in our assessment using the Altai methodology. Next slide, please. Regarding the responsive research, so this is something that involves our research, the research that we are going to do with the human beings, in our case with the users. So in this case, we have to develop protocols for the pilots, and we are really in touch with the end users and with the user responsibles in order to make sure that we are following the guidelines providing previous deliverables, that it means recruitment of the participants, they are volunteers, so they can leave the research at the moment that they want to do it without any kind of response. So the procedures to do all of these issues. The consent for, this is something that is really important. So the consent for the adaptation to the national context, the internal procedures and local language, and the recruitment procedures and data management. So it's something that we are really aware of this. The recruitment procedures align with ethical principles. This is something that is really important in our case because we are working in many cases with DLR, and we are working in many cases with volunteers that they are part of one organization, and we have to make sure that we are in line with that, with these requirements. And next slide, please. Regarding the policy recommendations, this is something that is really important in our case. So that because there is no one certification and algorithm audit. So, and this is one becoming an urgent issue at European level. So it's something that it's maybe more in line with the EU Artificial Intelligence Act. So, but we need one certification, one standard, one procedure that it will be common in several countries or in all companies that are involved in artificial intelligence, just to make sure that we have our algorithms from an ethical point of view. The standard and procedures for this should be developed in the next years or next, I will say it in the next months, but maybe it will take a long time. But in any case, it's something that from the point of view of the political recommendations, we want to stress. So has main conclusions. So in Tensor project, it's really important the ethics point of view in the policy, in the research and in the platform that we are developing our solution, and at the same time is something that we will monitor, especially from the artificial intelligence point of view, from the EU Act, in order to make sure that we are in line and we make the change that it could be acts from the development on these new rules in the European framework. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you so much for the presentation. Okay, and then we are going to move with Anastasia from ETHOS. Kindly ask if you can squeeze it in 5 minutes, that would be great. Thank you so much, Anastasia.
I can promise, but I will try. Give me just 1 sec to upload my presentation. It should be visible to you now.
Not yet.
It's not? Okay, okay, we'll try it another way around.
Actually,
so
now
maybe
it's
now?
Now it's, yeah.
It's fine?
Yeah, perfect. I can see it.
Okay, okay. I will put it in a presenter mode. Hi, everyone. It is my pleasure to be among you today and to be able to present to you briefly the ethical frameworks and policies within the EITHOS project. Let me firstly introduce myself. My name is Anastasia Vidaki, and I'm a PhD researcher at VUB. And together with my colleague Sergi Vázquez Meimir, who unfortunately could not make it today, we participate in ETHOS project. So what is our role in ETHOS? It is to address the legal and ethical challenges faced by the project, both during it and when deployed in the societal realm. We're responsible, therefore, for monitoring and controlling the conformity with ethical standards and legal compliance. And we provide advice on the matters concerning applied ethics, privacy, data protection, and societal acceptance. As already Kostis and the previous colleagues that spoke mentioned, ETHOS is a really unique project. So without further ado, I think it is high time to delve into the subject of today's presentation, namely ethics and policy actions within ETHOS. And I will begin with presenting the relevant ethical framework of the project and the measures aspired for ethical e-evidence collection and usage of biometric technologies as ethics policies that are applied in the context of the project. So as you can see, on the one hand, we have already considered the research ethics framework, depicting concerns on the screening of research activities and how research is performed in order to ensure its compliance with ethical and normative requirements. As you all know, under Horizon Europe research project, the activities involving human participants, regardless of their nature or their topic, are subject to ethics compliance. So the ETHOS project partners have considered several activities that potentially raise ethical concerns, including processing of personal data, conducting of interviews, observing social media platforms, and tracking or reusing information. Those have been separately addressed. To begin with, while conducting covert research, ETHOS project partners may inadvertently process personal data from internet users while monitoring the dark or the deep web. Specific requirements and organizational measures have been followed to ensure compliance in this matter. Those include ensuring no personal data is collected, collecting data unobtrusively and in accordance with local cultural values, and obtaining national ethics approvals beforehand. Partners also consult legal and data protection departments. They adhere to national legislation and safeguard the anonymity of research participants. Before undertaking covert research, partners will provide detailed justifications and explanations. And when utilizing the internet and social media data for research, which is a special characteristic of the ETHOS project, caution will be exercised to avoid combining sensitive data categories from different sources, which could also lead to an infringement of the individual rights. Consulting with the institution's data protection officer and ethics advisor, securing ethical approval for data collection, adhering to platform terms and conditions, recognizing on open source data availability, ensuring appropriate safeguards for vulnerable groups, assessing potential harm for data exposure, obtaining consent for data used in closed groups, and respecting users' privacy expectations are measures aiming to mitigate the risks and ensure ethical conduct in research involving internet and social media data. So the use of publicly available data as we saw for research purposes, requires careful consideration of its fairness and legality on a case-by-case study, and this has been strictly followed by the ETHOS consortium. Just because data is accessible to the public does not grant unrestricted processing rights. So when using publicly available data from social media, it's crucial to assess whether the individuals intended for their offering to the public and ensure compliance with data controller terms and conditions. In this matter, seeking guidance from a data protection officers or experts has been conducted and has been advised in cases of uncertainty in order to ensure lawful and ethical research practices. Last but not least, participation in interviewing activities in ETHOS is voluntary and it is informed, involving only adult participants capable of providing explicit informed consent. ETHOS ensures that no individuals unable to give informed consent, including children or infants, will be involved in research activities or have their personal data processed. Ethical considerations regarding human participants are monitored and updated on a regular basis. For these purposes, on the other hand, we have the Innovation Governance Framework, which focuses on legal, ethical, and societal issues that arise from the development and potential exploitation of the project, its acceptance by society, and its potential effects to the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individuals. Innovation governance concerns those, let's say, deeper issues, such as but not limited to human dignity, fundamental rights, freedoms, and democracy, that the legislation cannot always answer, and therefore ethics come into play and render a valuable tool for governing technological innovation. So going further into, in order to view the ethical policy applied in ETHOS in matters of innovation governance, namely, we will see the measures followed for the ethical e-evidence collection and for the application of biometric technologies for purposes of identifying online identity theft. More specifically, we're going to check which parameters we're taking into account when designing the ethical collection of the evidence and the application of the biometric technologies. At this point, I have to mention that the work is still under progress. However, the main concerns have already been expressed and have to do with the interference of e-evidence collections and biometrics practices with human rights and democratic principles. So let's examine them quickly one by one. Firstly, we have the issues of privacy in the public discourse arising. The notion of online anonymity and the expectation of privacy are really relevant for ETHOS project, along with the fact whether IP addresses, subject or access data can be regarded as personal data. And with the integration of new technologies, we can say that we're also experiencing a new paradigm shift in a criminal investigation and maybe the criminal procedure as a whole. So from reaction mechanism, it seems that we're moving to prevention technologies, to criminalization of preparatory activities as such. As a result, the individual faces a historical and unparalleled control of on potential self-incriminatory information, but also on the capacity to foresee when he or she might become a suspect in the eyes of the authorities. There is in this subject a strong risk that procedural safeguards in the heart of fair process, such as the presumption of innocence, the right to remain silent, and the privilege of self-incrimination might de facto become theoretical or illusory to the effects of criminal proceeding. At the same time, as Manuel talked about before, we have the web scrapping, the method used for exploring the dark web, which might collide with the freedom of expression in the internet. The collection of personal data by social media providers may not be limited to the activities performed by individuals on social media and the social media platforms themselves. The targeting of social media users on the basis of information concerning their browsing behavior or other activities outside the social media platform can give individuals the feeling that they're constantly monitored and their behavior is systematically under control. So this may cause a chilling effect that impacts how users perceive their online experiences. Such effects may be exacerbated if the targeting is also based on the analysis of content shared by social media users. The implementation of web monitoring technologies, such as the one in EITHOS, might also potentially result in a more fine-grained discrimination and classification of citizens and an enhancement of social sorting practices. There is also a risk that processing activities as such could allow the identification of habits, but also other cultural, ethnical, or community shared attributes. Along with them, the principles of necessity and proportionality, which are vital in a democratic society, are further challenged. And last but not least, the concept of group profiling has also been raised. We understand that all those actions and practices already adopted or that will be adopted in ETHOS have serious ethical implications on the research that have already been considered and will be questioned also in the future, and keep monitored to ensure the compliance of those research endeavors, not only with the EU, but also with the international framework on ethical principles and on legislation. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions regarding the frameworks I tried to describe in a hurry, feel free to contact me in the email for more details.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Thank you for helping us somehow be in our scheduled time. Okay, so we are almost there. I know we overexceed the time of the workshop that we have. So we had already in presentation from the technical progress, discussion on the ethics and policy action. So what are we doing next is to discuss the next step forward, because our journey doesn't stop here. So I will pass the floor now to the project coordinators, just to have the, 5-10 minutes to discuss the conclusions, let's say, of today's workshop. And I know I'm really sorry for, overachieving the time that we have so far, but there was so many information that has to be shared, right? And it was very interesting. So
thank you, Anna. Thank you,
please,
everybody. Very, very interested in this workshop today. Very interesting presentations. I think it's a very good starting point for us. We have already identified some complementarity between the projects. We're happy to work on establishing this further, and maybe see how we can work together, maybe on a more tangible side, such as on our pilots, for example, and the use of our technologies in the framework of the security and the border management domain. So now that we know each other, I think it's a good idea, as proposed earlier by the European Commission representatives, to have another session in a few months, maybe from now, to have established who we are, what we are doing. So let's work on something more concrete. That will be my vision, at least. I hope you are sharing the same. Giuseppe, Monica, Dana, and the colleagues from ETHOS, we're happy to keep this channel open and see our next opportunities for collaboration. And Anna, thank you very much for the moderation. Great work.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eleni.
May I?
Please.
Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, but I'm driving because I had a personal obligation. First of all, I think that we understood that for sure, if we have to talk about more detailed project results next time, we will need more time to in order to dedicate the proper time for each slot dedicated to the project. I think that this is a good lesson learned for sure. The second point, I think that beside this virtual meeting, maybe it could be good also to establish, if possible, like wherever possible, to share documents. For example, to have a sort of virtual group where we can at least upload the presentation and organize. Also have the possibility to organize better the content in advance, to see also to do some connections with the projects, because for example from my side we had a couple. What I remember from the presentations, like for example, the possibility to understand how, for example, from the FLEXIcross point of view, we could integrate with a data space that you were planning in Tensor, for example. That could be nice another approach while waiting, let's say, for also the next release of the NGX system data model. And the other point that is more related to the awareness campaign that was talking EITHOS before, talking about fraud identity that is online. It's true, but maybe some of them that could be also interesting to understand how they will be designed and to propose, for example, for not only for virtual identity, but also, let's say, for not for virtual, so to access services with their own identity into the verification, for example, the authentication of people that want to cross border, and so they need such kind of authorization in advance, and they could use the systems without with the route precautions. Essentially, I don't know how to, but it sounds to me that it would be very nice to have such awareness campaign also for to explore in FLEXIcross to understand how they will be designed, as I said. And so virtual environment where to share documents. These 2 points that for me were interesting during the presentations. And also, as already Eleni knows, and Juan as well, we have also contacted the Horizon Research Booster to so to complete the 2 actions for module A and B. And this could require essentially some effort from the project that could be of the same project group that okay, we can discuss offline with some emails, just proposing you next actions that could be good to have and to present dissemination and communication activities as a project group, and we could have the support of European Commission to create a list of joint results or collaboration, as we were mentioning before. But also we could have the opportunity to have a sort of coordinated brand identity for the project group, and this could be also nice in terms of support. So to be a little cluster maybe, but with different from different point of view. This was my understanding of the today's session.
Agreed. Thank you so much.
And also my next actions that maybe we can take note also to send to Giulio and to the rest of the commission.
Exactly. Okay. We'll do so. Right. Any other comments or from ODYSSEUS? Okay, ETHOS,
Sorry. It's ODYSSEUS' turn. I'm not going to jump.
No, it's okay. There were no turns. It's just whomever wants to jump in.
Okay, then from ETHOS' side, thank you all for this invitation. It has been interesting. To be honest, I would have welcomed perhaps more discussion rather than individual presentations, because I think that also new things can crop up in discussions that we haven't thought of earlier. I was happy because even though ETHOS is a different focused project than perhaps the rest of them, I could see that also in the presentations of other projects, aspects that are relevant to identity theft, perhaps in a different way, but like for border management, for example, are also relevant to other projects. So perhaps there could be some synergy there, and perhaps also